Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Mary Jo from MaryjoesCreations. How are y'all doing? I was going to start this video tomorrow morning, but I sat down here, right, and I was trying to figure out what I kind of wanted to do next, because my cardigan is finished. I do want to make another one and tweak it and fix it because there are quite a few things that I want to change, but ooh, sorry, not just yet. I think I need a break from that. And I do have another cardigan that I was working on that I really want to finish. But I just needed to show you. I needed to show you that apparently I am completely insane. Now, I don't know if I showed you, I was making a scarf, a double-stranded scarf. And I did not like the way it was coming out. And it was way too thick for my taste. So I took it apart, right? Well, I was too lazy to physically separate the yarn. Like, I just didn't want to do that and sit there and really divide the yarn and pull it apart and roll it up and ball it up or whatever. So instead, I decided to start making two things at the same time. So now with the purple yarn, although I think it's coming out a little bit maybe too wide. Let me see. Let me measure it. This is a scarf. A V-stitch scarf, and I like making wide scarves like blanket scarves, but I think this one might have come out a little bit too wide. It's measuring 15 inches. I think I normally do 12. I think that's what it was on my V-stitch, but I'm just going to leave it. It might just end up being mine, or yeah, this one just might end up being mine, and at least now I know I got the count right. So the next one I make will be to put up on my website, because I know it'll come out right. I figured it out. And I figured out how to get straight edges. And I do like wide scarves. So I think this will be fine. And if I go up a little bit more and I don't like it, then I'll just rip it apart and make it not so wide. But I think this will be fine. And because, it was getting too much, actually what I first started was this. And it's going to be a sweater. So this, I believe, is going to be the back panel of my next sweater. And I wanted a solid colored sweater. And I do have a way, yeah, I believe this is going to be the back panel. And I'm trying something different. Of course I am, because, why would I do things simple? I don't know. So, we're going to do this back panel here, and what I'm doing is, I swear, I do a few lines of, the pink, which Oh, I think yeah. So I started off with the pink one, and then when the yarn started to get, like when I couldn't pull it out anymore and there was a ton of purple yarn, I just started, making the scarf. And I don't know what possessed me not to measure the scarf before I, but now I know. And I think I was talking about this earlier, but I'm not sure. I know I was talking to my friend about it because she was like, everything you make is big. And she's right. Everything I make for the first time is big. And it's all come out very big. But I rather have it come out big the first time and still be able to use it than make it too small and then I have to rip it. I have to frog it because I can't, if it's too small, I can't wear it. If it's big and oversized, I can still wear it. Even if it's just around the house. Like my very first raglan that I ever made that's, huge, and I wear it around the house. And, I think that making it bigger is a lot easier to adjust than if you make it too small. Because once it's too big, like right now, this scarf, I gotta check. I think that like blanket scarves are anywhere between 10.5 inches and 15 inches. I could be wrong, which is a possibility, but I think it'll be fine for me because I really do like them wide, and I only have one scarf, which is like gray multicolored scarf. It was the first one I ever made. It was in a lightweight yarn, like a 3-weight yarn, and that's the only one I have. So I do need another scarf, and that's why I was making this one. But again, the double-stranded, I didn't like the way it was coming out. And so I started this one. But all of that to say that, like, the good thing about it is that, yeah, it might be too wide at the moment for, most people. I guess, if I'm going to put it up on my website, I'll do it, like, anywhere between 10 and, like, 12 inches, depending on the style, because, you have to, make sure that, especially with something like this or a V-stitch, something that's not just a simple, all half double crochet. So I need to make sure that the clusters are all even, but like right here, like since this is too wide, it's easier for me to adjust, right? So what I do is I measure it out, and I see that, like, 10 inches is right there. So I know exactly how many clusters that I'm going to have, and then I adjust my account accordingly, right? So it's easier for me to make it smaller than when it's bigger. I have to, like, think about it and do the math and all of that, and it gets to be a little bit harder. So for me, it's easier to shrink it than it is to make it bigger. And that's why I don't care that I make things a little too big. And again, all the stuff I make the first time, which is like prototypes, they're all for me anyway. So it really doesn't matter if they're a little too big. And then when I go to do it the second time, then I adjust. And I think it's just easier that way. But yeah, I had to like show you guys that like this is my idea of sorting the yarn. Like I've never done that before, where I've double-stranded a project. And mind you, I wasn't far in. Like, this is crazy how long this is lasting. I don't know. I didn't think that I had that much done where I would have this much yarn. But I guess I did. Ooh, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's getting kind of late and I'm going to go to sleep. And then tomorrow I will be continuing to work on this until I get this mess. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I most likely am going to start working on the other cardigan that I have. But I didn't, to be quite honest with you, the reason why I started this is because I did not want to sit there and try to separate that yarn and then roll it all up and then have to re-roll it again because it's still attached to the skein, right? So it's not like, it's not that easy to roll up. And I didn't want to touch the skein because I like my skein. I like pulling from the center. I don't cake up my yarn. The only time I ball up my yarn is when, I rip something apart that I've completely used, or the ball is at the skein is at the very end and, it has to be balled up. Other than that, I don't wind my yarn. I don't ball up my yarn. I like using it straight off the skein. And I do center pull. So it's just what I'm used to and what I like and what I've done from the very beginning that I started. And so when I rip something that's, still attached to the skein, I usually just work through it until I use it up again, right? But again, I had never done anything like double-stranded like this that I've taken apart. So I couldn't leave this. This had to be, fixed somehow. I didn't want a pile of, yarn spaghetti sitting there because you never know. It can fall. It gets, on the floor. It gets dirty or no. So my only solution was to start crocheting 2 new items. And once I use up all this yarn, then I will definitely continue working on that cardigan that I've been working on. And I am going to be making a, start doing a list. I want to go through all my notebooks and make a list of all the projects that I've done so far, all the patterns that I have written out for myself of all the things that I've done, and what I know is right that doesn't need to be redone, which I think is my market bags. I've done those so many times that the pattern should be good. but most likely I will end up making another one. Well, I do have to make a small one for my website, but you know, the market bags might be the last things, because those, I've made so many that those are you know, not a problem. It's mainly the clothing, like the cardigans and the sweaters, and the other granny square bag that I have. But I do have to go through all my notebooks and write everything down, and then we can, you know, hopefully start remaking everything, along with apparently making new things, because, you know, I'm insane and apparently I don't have enough to do. I want to just keep doing more. But I do not have a regular sweater, plain, that's, you know, long and that's panels. And I do want one where it's more kind of like a sweatshirt construction, you know, like the long panel front and back, and then a little bit of shaping is going to be done for the front of it, and then the sleeves, once the panels are attached, I'll make the sleeves. And I am going to work the sleeves right onto it, because that's just how I like to do it. But hopefully this one will come out right the first time, and I'll only have to make it one other time to make sure it's good. But I'm not sure if I'll be that lucky. And this most likely will go into, no, not most likely. I mean, tomorrow is Friday, so this hopefully will go into next week. Well, this will go into next week, and hopefully it will be finished by then. So I know I only had, I think, one finished item this week, which was the cardigan. But in all fairness, I would have finished it earlier if I hadn't put a hood on it. And I also didn't do a lot of work on Wednesday, because I went out for my birthday. So, you know, a lot of time was taken up. And it is what it is. But the sweater is done, and I already know what I have to do to fix it. And I think that I am going to make another one once I'm done with that other cardigan. But I think that the next one that I'm going to do is going to be in nice, like, brown colors. You know, or nice, like, maybe for the fall. I mean, for the fall, for the spring. But me, I do like a lot of neutrals, greens and browns. So I might do one in those tones. And, you know, make it more my size, where it's like, you know, a little bit loose, but not as big as that one. Because, girl, that one came out big. I'm telling you, I can fit, like, another person in there with me. And even with a sweater on, it's still way too big. So, And again, it's okay because I don't mind it being that big, right? You never know when it might come in handy to have a cardigan that big. So, it's okay. I just know, and it's like okay that it's the Valentine's Day sweater, because that's not a sweater that I would use every single day either. And in the wintertime, it's cold. So, you know, I have it for next Valentine's Day. And, or if, you know, I'm doing anything themed, I can wear it. And I know now what adjustments I have to make. So, I think that that is a win-win. Now, if it was something like colors that, you know, would be for me to wear every day and it was way too big like that, then I would be a little bit like more upset about it, because I wouldn't want to, you know, I would want it to fit the way I want it to fit. That's why I'm a little nervous about the green one that I'm making. And, you know, I hope I don't make it oversized like that one or my other one. Like my sweater. I hope I make it, you know, closer. And I'm getting better at it. But we shall see. And I put that in the wrong place. Okay. Alright. So, this is my first panel. It's actually going to go this way. But here's my first panel. And this is going to be the back. And I do make it long like that because I do like it to go into the sleeves, right? And I like it when the sleeves hang out, like when it comes down like this. So that's kind of like why I do it so long too. But that's how much I've gotten done so far. My tension seems to be a little loose. I don't know. When I first started crocheting, my tension was so tight, it was crazy. And now it feels like it's gotten very, very loose. But, and this is how much... Okay. This is what I got done for the scarf. Which is nice. And this is how much yarn I have left. So, I'm okay with that right now. That won't take me too long to untangle and crochet, and at least I know I have the base of 2 other projects already done, which is what we will be working on most likely tomorrow and next week. I might take Saturday to go over all my notebooks, because honestly, I have so many, because, you know, I would just start. I had like 5 or 6 notebooks, and I had them set aside so that I could use those for my patterns, right? But it was like I was working in here, and I was working in my workroom, and, I mean, whatever notebook was in front of me is the one that I used. So, you know, it's like all over the place, and I need to get a handle on it. And I do need to buy another notebook, because I don't have a really good one. All I have are these, composition notebooks that were still from, like, my daughter when she was in school, and that was a long time ago. But I always kept the blank notebooks, And so, you know, I was like, might as well use them, right? Because I paid for them. And if you see here, like, they're all written in, well, not all. Some of them only have a few pages, and some of them have more than others. And there's, like, things scratched off, because they're, like, scrap. So I want to have a good notebook that I can transfer all of my patterns to. I have one notebook that's a spiral notebook, but it's also, like, partially used. So I'm going to use that for, like, transferring them over, and then whatever mistakes, you know, or whatever adjustments I need to make, I'll use those, and when it's ready when it's ready for the final transfer, then I want to do that on a really good notebook. But I haven't found one that I really liked. But anyway, I will see y'all in the morning. And I know this was a weird start to a vlog, but it's me, so do you expect anything else? Okay, guys, I will see you in the morning, but for you, it's just a second. Hey, everybody. Sorry, I didn't film yesterday. And I didn't film today either. Well, I'm filming now, but I have been working on this panel for sweater. Now, this is the back panel. And for the front panel, I will be doing some shaping for the neckline. Because, you know, I don't like anything that's tight, so we're just going to do a little bit of shaping so it's not so high. But we're going to, this one is the front panel. I mean, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, my mind is really, like, not here. But, I just wanted to share with you, this is how much I've gotten done. And if you remember, I had, half skeins from, I think, the cardigan and the, I'm not sure, but I think it's from the, ear warmers that I did with the purple. So I have 2 skeins that I finished. I weighed it, and it weighs 5.2 ounces, I think, or 5.4 ounces. So this added up to almost an entire skein. So that's not bad. And it, like, gives me up to, like, right above my belly button. So I do want to go a little bit longer, because I do want it to be a little bit longer. So we're going to go up a little bit higher. I was hoping to make this sweater just one color, because I think I only have one sweater that I made that's a solid color, and I wear it, but it's the one that kind of rides up. It was my second raglan, so it's not my favorite. And I did want to do it all one solid color, but I think that's going to depend on whether or not I have enough yarn. Now, I do have 3 more skeins. This one and 2 other ones that are full. And that should be more than enough, I hope. But, you know, I'm going to tie this one on. The thing is that the front panel is going to take more than 1 skein. Hopefully, not much more. We'll weigh it to see. Hopefully, it won't be too much more of the skein, and you know, that way the second panel will be like the rest of this skein plus a little bit of the other one, and hopefully with that one we can do the sleeves, right? So that way we only use 3 full skeins of yarn, give or take. But yeah, we got 2 more down, and I believe that makes 4 skeins for the month. I mean, it's only, what, the 7th? So, you know, I know that's, I mean, that's not a lot. But, you know, I haven't really, even though it's the 7th, this month has been a little bit crazy so far. And, you know, once it dies, it should start getting a little bit easier soon. So, you know, as soon as there's some few more pink things that I want to make before next week. I kind of wanted to make a bag, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Like granny square bag, like the one that I made in camouflage or different colors. I kind of wanted to make a pink one like that. And maybe that's what I'll do after this sweater is done. But I kind of wanted a solid color sweater and something different than the ragland. Now, I do have a sweater, even though, you know, I'm not doing anything for Valentine's Day. So it's not like I have anywhere to wear it to, you know. But I would like to make a pink sweater. And I can just wear it here for you guys. And if it comes out nice, then, you know, I might make another one in a different color and put it up on my website. Well, I am going to end up making another one in a different color, but you know what I mean. But I think we're almost done. You know what? Let me measure it. I had these heavier clips on them, but I took them off because I was weighing it. I wanted to see how much yarn I had used for the panel, and the markers were just too heavy. They actually like added, I think, like 2 ounces or 4 ounces to it or something like that. So let's see how big this first panel is. I have to clear off this little table here because it is honestly a mess. Oh, hold on. Okay. Let's see. Maybe it's not big enough for the table, but let's see. I mean, I just want a rough estimate, right? I mean, a rough, it doesn't have to be perfect. Right now, it's about 18 inches. So, I mean, I'm sitting, I should be standing. But I think that 26 inches would be, let's say 25, because I am going to put a border on it, right? So I should, what I think is that one, okay, I'm doing sort of a pattern. I'm doing double crochets, and then I'm doing 2 rows of half double crochets, and then another 8 rows of double crochets, and then another 2 rows of half double crochets, and I'm going up. So I think one more section might be good. Like, right now I'm at 32 rows. I'm starting my 33rd row. Okay. And I was thinking of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was thinking of, and then it would be a row of single crochets. So going up to 50, I think that should be good. So I'm on row 33. I have another, 16 rows, 17 rows to go. So, which, honestly, I did most of this panel. It was just started. I don't honestly know how much it was started at the moment. I can't remember. But it was, I had just started it because I know that I did the, I figured out to put a double crochet in here today. So I think I was like a few rows in. So I pretty much did the majority of it today. Within 3 hours maybe I did all of this. So it shouldn't take me very long. And I'm not going very fast, number one, because I just am not doing very well right now. And number two, I was trying to figure it out, So I work a little bit slower when I'm not sure of how I'm doing things. And so now that I know what the pattern is that I'm using, it's going a little bit faster. So hopefully by the end of the night, I'll have this entire panel done. And maybe start on the second panel and see how much of that I can get done. Now I'm only doing 2 panels because if you've been on this channel, you know that I don't like working panels for sleeves. I like doing my sleeves directly onto the sweater, cardigan, whatever it might be. So what I'm going to do is make both panels, sew them together, and then, or crochet them together. I might do a slip stitch. I might join as you go. I'm not sure. But once that's done, then I can work on the sleeves. And I don't think the sleeves are going to take me long because the panels are long for a reason. I want them to be off the shoulders, so the sleeves won't be kind of like this, but a little bit longer, I think. Oh, dude, I didn't even realize I could have measured this, but that's okay. Anyway, it's going to be kind of like that. So the sleeves won't take long, and I think it'll definitely be longer than that. I think my count was a lot more than the one I have on. So I'm not sure, and I won't really know until I put it together. But you know, I don't really mind sleeves. To me, sleeves, I know people don't like sleeves, and some people call it Sleeve Island, and they, find sleeves to be tedious, but I don't mind sleeves because, it's not, what do you call that? They're shorter, so they take longer. The rows aren't as long as doing a panel, so for me, sleeves don't take very long, and again, I don't do them in panels, so, I'm not making like a long panel. I'm just working it right into the cardigan. So I just like doing it that way. That's how I do all my sleeves. I might do the cuff a little bit different for this sweater. I'm not sure. But, we'll figure that out when we get there. I just wanted to give you an update on the sweater. And let me see. I'm going to go till row 39, right? That's the next time where I have to do the half double crochets. And once I get there, I will figure out whether or not I want to go all the way to row 50. It all depends on how long it is, right? So I'm going to go do these, well, now it's 7 rows because this one's almost done. I'm going to go do 7 more rows, which shouldn't take me very long. And then I'll come back and show you my progress. And I'm hoping that, I honestly don't know how much yarn this is going to use. I hope it's not too much because that way, the next panel will take the rest of the skein and about a little bit of the next one, and hopefully that one will be enough for the sleeves. And again, I don't think the sleeves are going to be too bad or have to do too much because this is going to be, very wide, so it's going to hang over probably more than this one, I think. But I'm not sure. Because I honestly don't know how many rows are in this one. I should have checked, but it's alright. It doesn't matter. I didn't want to make it this size anyway. I wanted to make it bigger. So, that's okay because I did want it to come around more. But I'll see. So this row is done. And if y'all are wondering what I'm doing, I started doing it with my granny squares, where instead of doing, and my bandanas, my triangles, instead of doing a chain 2, I always do a stacked single crochet. And I've actually gotten in the habit of doing that all the time now, because especially when it's stuff like this that you have to connect, because it's a lot easier to connect it or stitch it when it's a half double, when it's a stacked single, than it is when it's a chain. Because it's just like going into a double crochet. So for me, it's just easier when I have to sew pieces together or crochet pieces together. It's just easier to have the stacked single than it is to have the chain there. So that's what I do. And also, I think the edges are cleaner. Especially when, I do my triangles, like bandanas and stuff. I forget. Oh, it was that one that I did over Vlogmas. That I think I'm also going to get more of that yarn and make it bigger instead of having it as a bandana, because it's too big for a bandana. But anyway, sorry, my ADH brain. I just like it better. It's just, to me, it's a lot easier. It looks a lot cleaner, and I just like it better. So that's what I do in the beginning, if you've been wondering, because I don't chain. I chain one, I turn, and then I do a stacked single right into the stitch. And that's just the way I like to do it. And I pretty much do that for anything that I use a double crochet for. Sorry, brain freeze. But yeah, I'm gonna just be working on this panel and hopefully have it finished by the end of the night. And I also, sorry, I'm just, the Hexie cardigan, oh my god. The granny square cardigan that I made, the hot pink one that the video is up for, it was kind of stiff. It was looking kind of really stiff, feeling stiff. It wasn't looking right. There are things that I want to change about it. I mean, I'm going to leave it the way it is for that one. I'm not going to bother taking it apart and changing it. It's my prototype. I will be wearing it, and seriously, I should probably, it's not something that I'm going to wear all the time, but it is something that I can wear, you know, not only for Valentine's Day, but it is really oversized. So I want to make another one anyway, and in some more neutral colors. But what I was going to say was that what I did is I have that spray that is like Febreze. It is Febreze, but anyway, the fabric spray, I didn't have anything else. I don't know, maybe I could have sprayed it with water, but I do like to spray them sometimes, just so that if there's any funky odor before I wash it, it can come out. But I noticed that when I sprayed a few things that I've made before, it did make them a little bit softer. So instead of blocking, what I did was I sprayed it down with the Febreze spray, and when it dried, it got a lot softer and a lot more flowy. I'm going to take pictures of it, or maybe I'll put it on again. I mean, not right now, but before the end of the video, so you can see what it looks like. But I think it looks a lot better. It relaxed a lot more. And I think it looks nicer. I don't have a steamer. And I'm kind of afraid of steaming things because I don't want to like melt the yarn. There, you know, I've watched people, what's her name? I watch her all the time, and right now I can't think of her name. Michelle, I think. I can't think of her last name, but Michelle. She has actually melted pieces by, hold on, what did I do here? Where is the half doubles? Right there. So 1, 2, 3. So I actually did 3. So I'm on the 4th one. She's actually melted a few pieces. And I don't want to do that. And knowing me, I probably would. So I really don't want to steam. And I think Dana from Blondie Knots also had a problem once with the steam blocking. But anyway, I could be wrong. But I don't really like to steam it. And I'm not that I don't like to. I'm afraid of steaming it. I'm afraid of trying it and ruining it. Because then I would really get upset, right? And I guess I can, like, block it by, you know, soaking it in water like some people do. But I don't want to do that either because, I don't know, it gets very heavy. And I did wash one of my sweaters by hand the other day. I don't have a washing machine. And right now, I can't get to a laundromat. So, you know, I wanted to wash it and I washed it by hand. And it was heavy. Like super, super, super heavy. And it took forever to dry. And I kind of don't want to do that either. So, I'm thinking that if I spray it and get it to where it's wet, but not too wet, and try to, like, you know, stretch it out a little bit. Normally what I did was, I sprayed it, and then, like, I picked it up, and I kind of, like, you know, went like this and stretched it out just a little bit. And then I put it on my couch, like on the back of the couch, so it wasn't lying down flat, but it was like against the back of the couch. So I did that to my sweater too, my amethyst sweater earlier today, and it also felt a little bit softer too. So I gotta look up, maybe if I make like a solution of a little bit of fabric softener and water, that would work. And I could spray it instead of soaking it, and make it a little bit softer. But the cardigan, I think, looks much better now than it did before. And I mean, there's some things where, you know, like my hexie cardigans, I have a bunch of them, and, you know, they're fine. That just felt so stiff to me. I don't know if it was because of the granny squares. You know, I'm used to making panels or making hexagons. The squares come out a little bit stiffer, and then joining them together. For blankets is one thing, but for garments, I had never done it before. So I don't know if it was that. It was also, I want to kick myself because I really didn't think it through before I did it. And, you know, it was just off. The squares were too big and, you know, it's just so oversized. I have to take measurements, but if I had to guess, I'm thinking that it's like a 2X. Now, mind you, I wear a large. And that's mainly because of my boobs. Because if not, it won't close. Depending on it, sometimes I have to wear an extra large. Depending on the style of sweater or jacket. But that thing is huge on me. Okay? When I say huge, I mean like that thing is just so big. So I do want to make one that's a little bit, you know, fit better. But the good thing about that is that now I know that, you know, if anyone ever needs one that big, I know exactly how to make it. So that's a plus in my book, you know. And again, it wasn't so bad because I can wear a sweater underneath it. So let's say I finish this sweater. I think it'll be way too much pink. But if I wanted to, I can wear this sweater under that cardigan. And it'll fit. Right? So the whole point of this was that once I sprayed it, it did become a lot softer and a lot more flowy. And I think that there are certain projects that I might block. Just to make them a little softer. I wouldn't do that with everything. I don't think I need to do that with everything because once you put it in the wash, it'll soften up anyway. But it just looked so stiff to me. And even the hood, it didn't fall right. It was sticking up. So I just decided to spray it down and see what would happen. And it did become a little bit softer. So I'm glad for that. And if I remember, before the end of this video, I will show you. So right now I'm going to finish this panel. And I'll come back to y'all before I start the second one or go to sleep or whatever, because I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 11 o'clock at night. But like I said, I didn't crochet much today. Only for about maybe 3 hours in total. No, not even. Well, maybe. Maybe. But I haven't done much today. But let me get to this, and I'll check in with you in just a sec, okay? Okay, guys. I've only gone up to row 39. That's what I'm on right now. But I honestly think that this is going to be long enough because, you know, I always do a trim around the bottom, so it'll get length that way. And I tend to always, again, as we know, make things way bigger than what they should. Hopefully this one won't turn out that way. You know, hopefully this one will actually fit me right the first time. One can only hope. So I am going to stand up and look to see how it looks before I finish it or put it aside. I do have to put a single crochet in. I want to do a row of single crochet, right? So that way it's just easier for me to connect it with the single crochet instead of the double crochet. It's just personal preference of mine, so that's how I'm going to do it. I think it feels also more secure when it's done that way. I don't know. It's probably just me. But anyway, this is how much we've used so far of this skein. So I'm going to weigh this piece when I'm done with it, just to see exactly how much yarn I used. But it was probably 2 full skeins. Maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure. And I don't know if I said it before, but I am using a 6mm hook for this, because I think a 6mm hook, especially when it's panels, it comes out a lot more flowy. Not so much in granny squares. You don't get that drapiness like in a panel, but in a panel it does. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Both are probably true. But I'm almost done with this, and then I will stand up and show you how long it is before. I'm going to see how long it is before I add that 1 round of single crochet, right? And again, I want it long, but I don't want it this panel too long, because I am going to add that border around the bottom once I connect both panels. So let's see what this looks like. I pulled out too much, but that's all right. All right, here we go. Chain 1. I'm going to put this in. I think that's good. Hold on. All right, I know this is a bad angle, but it gives me to about here. I think this is good enough, so about here. I'm not measuring it. I'm not going to do that just yet. I know the rows that I have, so I'm just going to repeat this on the next panel. All I gotta figure out now when I do the front panel, I mean, I really don't have to figure it out until I get the most of it done. But I am, like I said, going to do some shaping for the front. So I am going to have to figure that out. It'll probably be in the last section, right? This last block here, where I do the shaping, I think. yeah, it'll probably start with the half doubles where I do the shaping for it. I think. But I will measure that all out and figure it out when I get closer to it, because that'll give me a better idea, especially with the back panel already done, because now I know exactly how many rows I have to do. And then also, sorry, I can pull you closer. I know how many rows I have to do. And also, like I said, it's over here, which brings it to here. So yeah, most likely when I do my half double crochets, that's when I'll start the shaping for the neck, and I mean for the front, and then I'll figure out I can't think straight, guys. You know, the math for it. Because right now it's 72, so I can't do the math for it right now. I'll figure it out. But at least now I know how many rows I have to go up before I do the shaping. And that's going to be, you know, much easier than doing the front panel first and having to figure that out. So doing the back panel first, I like doing back panels first because it gives me an idea of how to do the front panels. And I should have learned with that cardigan way before, because, you know, I've done it before. It's just, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I was trying to rush it, and that wasn't the best idea. I should have just, you know, taken my time with it. But I was trying to do it so fast because I wanted it finished. And I have to learn that if it's something new that I've never done before, I can't do it when I'm on a time crunch. You know, I have to figure it out beforehand. And not at the very last minute, because then that's how things get screwed up. And not screwed up because, again, it's okay that it's that big. It's just a little, you know, disappointing. All right. Now I can cut it off here. There we go. And one panel is finished. Yay! So I am going to go work on, and it's going to stretch too. I like to, and that's why I think like the granny square cardigan kind of threw me off a little bit, because normally when I do like panels, I do like to take them and I like to fold them and stretch them a little, right? So, you know, like relax it, and it does grow, obviously. And then I also like to do it this way, just so, you know, it can relax, the stitches can relax a little bit. And then they do go back, you know, a little bit, when I stretch it, it does stretch out, and then it does kind of shrink back. So, you know, I do like to do that, but I honestly think that I might spray it down as well. And like I said, I'm going to take a look and see how other people might block. I'm not doing all of that where I soak it and I lay it out and I pin it down. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I think that might stretch it way too much, and I don't want to do that. But doing it the way that I did it with the cardigan, that might be nice. So this panel is officially finished. I'm going to finish writing out my notes, and then I'm going to start on the second panel, even if all I do is single crochet 1. Okay. So that's 40 rows. And that's the back panel. Now I'm going to I will start the shaping at around row 32. So what I want to do right now, I got to do this on this page so that I could follow it along. What I like to do is just write down, now that I know exactly how many I need and where I'm going to start dividing, I'm good. So that's going to be easy, you know? And I'm going to go do that. I don't know yet if what I might do is, I don't know how long this video is. What else is new, right? So I'm actually going to take a break. Yeah, because I've been, that took me about an hour. So I need to take a break. I'm starting to get a headache too. I don't know. It's very cold. It's, I think the last time I checked, it was like 9, I don't know. I don't know if it was 9 degrees or 9 degrees below, but I know it said feels like -11. So it is very cold, and we are under a severe cold warning, freezing warning, whatever that is. So it is absolutely insane how cold it is. And that just really messes with my body and my fibromyalgia. So I do need to take a break. And I know that the next panel is going to be a lot faster because I don't have to do figuring any of this out. I just have to follow it. So it'll be a lot easier and a lot faster. I know where to break it down. And I'll either, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to start it tonight. Probably not. I'll probably end up starting it tomorrow morning. And hopefully I can get the panel done in a couple of hours. Because again, it might not take me this long. It shouldn't. It should actually go a lot faster the second time around. And definitely a lot faster because of the shaping, right? So we should be okay. But I'm going to take a break. And I will let you know tomorrow morning whether this is going to be a 2-part video or whether I'm just going to finish the panel. But I'll get back to you guys for you in just a sec. Hey guys. Alright. So I'm going to end this video here. I did get a lot done on the sweater, and I don't know if I filmed any of it. I was having a really bad weekend. I wanted to post this video earlier, but it's been very cold here, and it's been, number one, messing with my fibromyalgia and giving me really bad migraines, and I didn't film a lot of what I did, but I will be showing you the sweater in the next one where we will finish it together. And it should be finished the next time words are hard. It's still early in the morning. I'm going to be finishing it today. Right now it is Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. So, you know, it's been a few days, and I just want to get this video up. I will be doing, this video should have been up yesterday, but again, yesterday I did have a bad migraine too, so it's just been crazy. So I'm sorry that I still haven't found my footing with the filming yet, with the posting yet. I know some days it hasn't been, you know, on the same days. Sometimes I'm working on it. Hopefully, you know, everything will start to even out. There we go. Very soon, and you know, everything will work out better. It is starting to warm up here. Hopefully this like frigid cold will go away soon. But you know, it's kind of hard to function when it's like 4 degrees and feels like -8. You know what I mean? Like, but I will be posting a video tomorrow, and that'll probably be the sweater because it should be finished by today. And I just wanted to thank everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps me so much. I'm trying to grow my channel. I am going to do a live soon. It's just, again, these migraines, I feel like pressure, it's just everything. It's very hard for me to concentrate. So, you know, I want to do it when I'm, you know, better than what I am now. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to follow me, I will start posting more on social media. I have my Instagram and my Facebook, which are also MaryjoesCreations, and you can follow me there. And if you want to, you can leave a comment down below. And if you always want to send me a message, you can always do it on Instagram, or, you know, wow, words are hard right now. What's that called? Messenger on Facebook. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, guys.